move to recognize
Attention folks, let's get started. Welcome to the Village of Port Sanilac September 19, 2023 council meeting. This is a village business meeting open for the public. You are welcome to listen, but will be recognized to speak only in the portion of the meeting designated for public comment. Public comment is allocated at the beginning and the end of the meeting for general comments, as will be recognized to speak only in the portion of the meeting designated for public comment or if called upon to speak. Each guest is limited to 2 minutes. Please state your name, address, and indicate the subject you wish to address to the council. Action request forms are available at the village office for placement on the agenda. Allegiance.
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order 7:01. Roll call, please.
Mike Bailey?
Here.
Sue Bailey? Here.
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 Here. Like a motion to approve the agenda. We do have additions tonight.
I'll make that motion.
Bring back. Support. I'll support that. Discussion. Okay. I'll cover where they go afterwards, or we'll do it now. So, item number 1 will be inserted as 9B. The subsequent letters will flow down from there. Item number 2 will become 10A. Item number 3 will become all under 10A also, as well as item 4. Item 5 will be 10A1. Item 6 will be 12A. Item number 7 will be 12A. 8 will be 12A. 9 will be 12A. 10 will be 12A1. 11 will be 12A2. I have another one, but I don't know. Am I on track?
I think you're looking at the.
Yeah, I don't have it. Here it is. Okay, let's scratch that, please. Item 1 is 10A, item 2 is 10A, item 3 is 13A, item 4 is 13A1, 5 is 13A2, 6 is 13A3, item 7 is 13A4, item 8 is 13A5, and item 9 is 20A. And then there's an addition to the park recreation, seek the reestablishment update, or 9C, yes. That's 9C. Apologize for confusion. Discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Public comment.
Hi, my name is Benjamin Hunter. I'm a resident of the village at 203 South Lake Street. I would like to take this opportunity to request the council at some point during this meeting make a motion to schedule a town hall where the village residents can get their questions answered about the SEPA and fire department. What was that?
How do you catch the last part? SEPA and fire department.
SEPA and fire department and the solution of SEPA and the future of the fire department so the residents can get answers to their questions.
Susan Manier, 89 Casey Drive, Port Sanilac. Touching on Benjamin's, we talked about it 2 weeks ago, the township or town hall meeting for the residents to be able to ask 3 questions and to get answers to what is going to happen with SEPA as well as with our fire department and our MFRs, so that we as the village can be heard and get some answers to the questions that we have. And as of now, it's mid-September, and there is still nothing scheduled for a town hall meeting. And I believe we were told that it will be scheduled sometime before the end of September. It is getting very close now to the end of September, and there is still no meeting, scheduled.
That was, we did pass a motion and that was passed. We either went to governors and governors were waiting on the president. We did a date and there was scheduled.
Thank you.
Meeting on August. That's what I meant. We're waiting on the president.
Yeah, waiting on
So that we can set.
whatever day is available, he is the one who's working on trying to coordinate everything. He's not from the that's the time. So he is the help coordinate that. So he's available.
Public comment?
Dan Kelly, who at this point I'm here as the Sanilac Township Board Supervisor. Quickly, the board met last Thursday and created a letter that has been transmitted to the village council. I just wanted to read that quickly and then make a couple of comments about some of the items that are in your agenda package today. Basically, we said, Dear Village Port Sanilac Council members, during the Sanilac Township meeting held on September 14th, myself and Sanilac Board Trustee Jeff Lyle advised the remaining Township Board members of a recent meeting held with the Village Public Safety Officer, Mr. Don Morath, on Monday, October 11th. Our board would like to invite 2 Village Council members appointed by the Village President, Damian Falcon, to meet with 2 representatives from the Sanilac Township Board, who will be appointed by the Township Supervisor, to meet and address what steps the 2 entities can take to work forward in maintaining SEPA's continued operations into the future. Please notify me as soon as possible if the Village Council will be open to holding such a meeting, and if so, dates in which such a meeting could occur. So that was transmitted, and I believe most of you folks have that, or at least it was received by the clerk. And a couple of quick comments I have in a cursory review only of the potential Village of Port Sanilac Fire Department budget that I believe is in your packet today. There's quite a few questions about that budget, the funding methods, and the staffing. Again, didn't have a chance in timing to go through too many of those details. I would really hope that many of those things will be dug into deeply to make sure that you folks have all the information you need. One of the items that was in Mr. Morath's report regarding this meeting that he had with SEPA officials, it is our viewpoint that the withdrawal process of SEPA is not completed, and that it's been made clear that Forester Township has decided they will not be returning to SEPA. As members of SEPA, the Village of Port Sanilac and the Township can, in our viewpoint, work to amend the articles and bylaws as needed so that SEPA continue to move forward. There was some other information that doesn't seem to be available yet. Attorneys' reviews of questions and answers, and a cursory budget review, unless I'm missing something from what's the word I'm looking for? typo standpoint or something else, it would appear that the moving forward with the Port Sanilac Fire Department would be somewhere in the neighborhood of $260,000 budget, which would compare to CIFA's budget at about $150,000. So those raised kind of more questions than answers when we reviewed it. Again, haven't gone through all the details, but really hope that this board takes our invitation to heart to see if we can make CIFA move forward, not only till next July, but in the 6 to 10 years after that. Thank you.
Any further public comment?
My name is Amy Sherwood, I live at 111 Chippewa. I'd like to echo Mr. Hunter's comments about the town hall meeting. I know you just mentioned the president trying to get it together. Obviously, he's been busy with other things, and he's not been there in several meetings. I'm hoping that the council is also ready to step in for him and continue with the town hall meeting with or without him. The public is needing that town hall meeting, whether or not being is able to conduct it. I mean, we're running out of time here. I believe the public is overdue for the town hall meeting that they've been requesting in the past 2 months.
Any further public comment? Hearing none, presidential appointments. Before the president has taken action here to appoint yes, okay, page 5. To appoint Sue Baelish as chairman of the Finance Committee. So the president has made that appointment, needs confirmation by the council. Motion by Jim Southern. There's support. Vice Baelish, the support. Discussion. Hearing none. Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Next item on the agenda is appointment of Mike Baelish by the president to the Public Safety Committee. The open position. There's a motion to accept the presidential appointment of Mike Baelish to the Public Safety Committee.
I'll make that motion.
Ray Mack. I'll support it. Support by Jimmy Southern. Discussion. Hearing none, those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Presentations, there are none. Petitions and communications, there's a facility and event checklist for the Knights of Columbus Tootsie Roll Drive. Any information on that, Barb? Any comments or anything, I guess?
Page 6, there's the insurance on page 7. They will hold it on October 13th and 14th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. They don't need any support. We have no phones and everything, so once we did need something to get with us prior to BBW.
Did you review that, Larry? You're familiar with the request? Or anything you could communicate to them?
I make the motion.
Motion by Sue Baelish. Support? By Ray Mack? Discussion? Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Next Next item is a letter from Tuma Watson, Whaling, Curry, and Scrummers, dated September 11th, 2023. Did you read that?
Yes, again, dated September 11, 2023, Village of Council. I want to express my sincere appreciation allowing me to work for you. I am very proud of the work we did together. I was offered a position with the Port Huron Housing Commission as the Deputy Director of Corporation Council. I will be transitioning to my new role commencing December 5th, 2023. I will be winding down my practice through December 31st, 2023. I will be staying at my firm for the next GOP. It is practice specialized in turn. There is no one in my firm able to handle my municipal clients. I will be able to assist you with finding an alternate law firm. I recommend the local council. Fletcher, Elko, Francis, PC. Their files will be available for pickup, and their files will secure the cloud, with their names of the free to call and time to discuss the transition. Your agent is yours, regarding the Scrummers, and the lots of women, and the Scrummers, PC.
Item 9, public safety, Don Morath, Sheriff's August incident report. Present more.
For the month of August, kind of our last month of significant hours as we're September moving forward will be reduced hours. No major incidents to report. Provided 51 hours of coverage throughout the month with 194 miles of patrol during that coverage. Left complaints were investigated during those hours. An additional 19 complaints investigated outside of the contracted hours. During the contract, 12 traffic stops with 3 citations. As always with the traffic stops, our focus is the north and south lanes and the 4 corners of the traffic on 25 and the speeds as well as the stop sign. Like I said, no major incidents. Moving forward, coming up, probably a couple more weeks, we'll be pulling our boat out of the river here. As that's season back in now. Outside of that, any questions, concerns that you guys have?
Questions? Thank you.
If you need anything, reach out.
Always respond. Thanks for the response. Okay. 9B, Public Safety Committee meeting minutes dated September 12th, 2023. Highlight that at all.
I was thinking because we have multiple documents and really different committees that we have action items specifically for each committee.
We had kind of highlighted where those items went, as far as the additions, so we can work down there in that manner. So I think we're all set right now.
One of the action items of the committee was to approve the waterfall management contract with Andy Carr.
Yep.
Recommended by the Public Safety Committee.
Yep. So, if you recap that, what you
Yeah, that contract, we're required by the state of Michigan to remove any nuisance, wildlife nuisances around the lagoons that could end up damaging, get burrowing animals and animals that are attracted to the geese. So, which adds to issues that the state feels it to be controlled. So Andrew has offered the service for that. So we're asking you to do that.
Make a motion to approve the management contract with Amber Card recommended by Public Safety Committee.
Ray Mack is making motion support. I'll support that. Jim Southern? Jim Southern. Discussion?
This would be just for like fees and stuff like that. It's a contract, right?
It was limited to fees. All those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, hearing none, motion carried.
Is anybody home here? Raise your hand if you are. Well, the fan. The fan. What's that? No, you're on the stage. Is it on the stage, Joe?
Yeah, there's a switch there. It was turned on earlier by a staff member because they needed the third row of lighting for such a large room.
Oh, so we can't turn it off?
You could, but you use that third row of lighting.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Joe.
Maria, do you have an update on RAP?
On September 5th, the council directed the Public Safety Office to investigate and report on possibilities of reestablishing the CEQA and other possibilities. In response to that direction, interviews were held with Mr. Aldone, the Vice Chair of the Sanilac East Fire Authority, also trustee of the Township Forester. We were also held with Mr. Brown Davis, the treasurer of the Fire Authority, also the trustee of the village of Fort Sanilac, held with Mr. Dan Kelly, the supervisor of Sanilac Township, and also the sheriff of the Sanilac East Fire Authority, Mr. Jeff Lyle, the trustee of the Township of Sanilac, and the secretary of the Sanilac East Fire Authority. The request for information was forwarded to Kevin Mayer, attorney for the Sanilac Fire Authority. Declined comment, citing the conflict of interest issue. The questionnaire was also sent to Mr. Gregory's representative, village council for the village of Fort Sanilac. Some information was received from the office. I think it's based on the interest of the public in general. You've all received your reports, pages 76 to 82 of the agenda package. Rather than reading the entire report, 7 pages of it, I will resolution was held to enter the summary into the record.
Motion.
Permission. Summary. In reviewing the opinions expressed by the executive committee members of the Sanilac East Fire Authority, it has become clear that 50% of the committee members have lost trust in the community chairman. This loss of trust has become firmly established in the minds of these members. This interpersonal issue, trust, is a major factor in the damage of personal relationships, professional relationships, communications, and the ability to compromise. Trust is defined as
confidence and reliance on good qualities, especially fairness, truth, honor, or ability. Without the establishment of genuine trusting relationship between all parties, the ability to move forward would be greatly diminished. Outside of this very serious issue of loss of trust, the issue of increased SEPA budgets has been studied. SEPA is required to operate within the laws of the state of Michigan and the federal government. These laws require that any fire department train their employees, equip their employees, and provide for the management of fire operations. In the case of the SEPA authority, this has required a comprehensive training program and continued replacement of obsolete, damaged, or required equipment. Regardless of the political views of a participating municipality, the Occupational Health and Safety Administration, OSHA, and Michigan, MyOSHA, will continue to issue regulations to enforce these regulations and enforce questions. The final aspect of the review is one of legal opinions offered by legal counsel. In the case of the SEPA attorney, these opinions are not forthcoming. Counsel's response to requests by this office for reading was rejected. The main law firm, the SEPA attorney, cited conflict of interest concerns. The request for legal review and opinion was submitted to the village attorney without response. Based on the information provided by all state executive committee members, it is clear that Sanilac Township wishes to continue with the SEPA authority model. The Township's of Forester is firmly against rejoining SEPA under any conditions. The village of Fort Sanilac agrees with Forester Township that their third partner, Sanilac Township, is untrustworthy and suspect. This is the root cause of dissolution of the SEPA authority. Reviewing both the current and proposed village ordinance dealing with public safety, Chapter 34, it is clear that fire and emergency services are accounted for. Found in the current ordinance, these public safety services are granted to SEPA. In draft ordinance, the fire services are assigned to the Fort Sanilac Fire Department. Regardless of the addition of Chapter 34, there is an accommodation to establish and operate the fire and emergency service for the village. After reviewing all information received from the executive committee members of the Sanilac East Fire Authority, the Fort Sanilac Village Attorney, the ordinances of the village, the Public Safety Department puts forward three possible actions the village council could take. A, the reestablishment of the Fort Sanilac Fire Department as a village department. This course of action is permitted by both state law and village ordinance. The department can provide fire service coverage for only the village or to enter into intergovernmental agreements to provide fire services to any surrounding township. The village council is the controlling authority and will determine how services offered, which could include medical first responder. B, maintaining the partnership with Sanilac Township as a SEPA member. This required reversal of all resolutions to leave SEPA and reestablish the Fort Sanilac Fire Department. It will then require acceptance by the SEPA Board of Directors to reverse the village withdrawal notice. After this has been accomplished, the Township of Forester and the Township of Sanilac must approve the receiving of the village as a continuing SEPA member. Reentering SEPA will not affect the dissolution date for Forester Township. All issues surrounding the withdrawal of Forester Township will have to be settled regardless of the village status. All properties and monies due to Forester Township will need to be settled after December 31st, 2023. The SEPA articles of the Corporation of 33 municipal partners, not 2. Amendments to these articles will have to be undertaken by the remaining partners all the requirements of the elected municipal boards or councils will have to be taken on and resolved. This may include the restructuring of the makeup of members of the SEPA Board of Directors by amendment to the articles. C, resolve SEPA and form a new fire authority. This course of action allows for a new article. The elected boards or councils would have to draft these articles, present them in public hearing, publish a new article, and resolve to adopt the article. The articles would then be submitted to the state of Michigan for acceptance. Starting over with drafting new articles could be a lengthy process. Based on the trust issues and other areas concerned, following the currency of documents, it could take several meetings to agree on a new set of articles. D, purchasing fire services from another fire department or Sanilac Township. If the SEPA Corporation and any new corporations fail to offer fire service protection in the fire services, the village would be forced to provide those services or enter into intergovernmental contract with the municipality that offers these services. Talks with any surrounding municipality to provide said services would have to take place quickly. If the village is unable to secure any other coverage agreements, the public safety department would recommend that the village contact Sanilac Township to see if the township would be great these services and contract those services to the village. Issues dealing with the township's only fire service village and availability of village property, fire apparatus, equipment could be discussed. Regardless of which course of action the village approves, time is a limiting factor. Unless municipal fires can agree to set a new dissolution date, SEPA Fire Services will terminate on December 31st. If this holds true, the village cannot afford to delay action on solving this critical public safety issue. Respectfully submitted.
Thank you. Personnel.
Personnel committee met on September 14th, and there were a number of action items that we recommend council take. The first item was to approve the village of Port Sanilac non-union employee checklist.
There's a motion to approve the village of Port Sanilac non-union employee checklist as recommended by public safety.
So moved.
May I also support that? Discussion? Where's it at? It's in your packet on page.
On the personnel committee, that's the thing.
Are we talking about this one here?
Check.
Okay, are there any comments?
Discussion. That's the checklist that was submitted
Yeah.
as a result of the RRC stuff originally, wasn't it? The one we made.
Personnel, yeah. But it concerns what Don just was talking about. Am I correct?
It would be for any new employee to follow that checklist and fulfill the requirements of that checklist and sign that checklist. And the village has a part of that also.
So we are on, two motion, we're on 10 days, is that correct?
That's correct. We're on the personnel committee.
So that is on page. It would have been nice to have this
Well, it was due to the fact that governance had it back. Most of those documents were mailed out when public safety and governance were mailed back, and we emailed them out there with those documents in it.
Yeah, but it wasn't on the agenda. It was visible, it was not given to us until on paper.
That came from our personnel committee.
Yeah, I was there. I could go back and do them yesterday, so 2, 3, 4. Well, because the reason I'm discussing it, and I'm kind of like a little bit off, because we didn't get Don's information when we had the personnel committee minutes. So with that in mind, and we didn't get a letter from Dan until I think it was yesterday, to have discussions with Sanilac Township. So some of these I would like to revisit because of the fact that we have a situation, and did ask Don to revisit possibly SEPA and what would be the requirements of that.
We're talking about non-union employee checks.
Yeah, yes, we are.
That's for any employee hiring in.
Yes.
We're asking, we're being asked to approve it.
Yeah, okay. Right.
Any further discussion? Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Second item was to approve the Fort Sanilac Fire Department job descriptions, with a change to E1. And the language that will be in there is recommended by personnel was to obtain and maintain all state of Michigan required firefighter licensure as required by law.
But the motion to approve the Village of Fort Sanilac Fire Chief Employment Agreement as recommended.
Number 5.
Pardon?
Larry talked about item number 5.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. To approve the Village of Fort Sanilac Fire Department job descriptions with E1 being changed to read obtain and maintain all state of Michigan required firefighter licensure as required by law and recommended by public safety and personnel committees.
That's on page 13 through 16.
Yeah. I'll make that motion. Support?
Support that.
Amen.
I would point out that that verbiage was actually changed by President Elkin.
Yes.
So that it reflected not time deadlines, but reflections to guidance by state law. That's correct.
I'd like to table it, so, to have discussions with the township before we go into fire ordinance.
This is just, so we started a course in June to reestablish the fire department. This is just one of the pieces when we get to that point where we actually are starting it and need to appoint people. This would prepare us for that.
Well, that's probably kind of the problem here, because if we get to the point of sending out applications, hiring people, then we need to approve it if we need to change operations. And with a letter from the township, I think we should meet with them and see if there's any overlap. I know we want to have a fire department, but financially, I think it's better if we go see what. We could try to meet and try to see what we can hammer out. If we go to where we get, the next step would be hiring or putting out employment contract or something, and then we're in more entangled that. I think we can wait on this. What she said at the table, it's all there ready to go. And then we can wait on that until they have this meeting to see what happens. I don't think it'll take that long.
Well, Don has like 4 A, B, C, and D
possibilities that we're all going to go. I think we should, the last part would be to extend our deadline date and change to December 31st, so we can really come to a better conclusion that we can all agree on. So the public knows that we're doing everything we can to do the right thing. So because of the fact that we had only gone to the 6 months, we're in a time crunch now, only based on putting it on ourselves. So if we could go back to CEQA and extend the deadline date, it would give us more time, and we wouldn't have to feel pressure. And because the public wants to know we're doing the right thing, I want to know I'm doing the right thing also. And I'm not saying these things aren't right. I'm not saying what we're doing isn't right.
Let the meeting go on. They're just discussing amongst themselves.
Thank you.
Okay, so what I want to do is just make sure that the job we did is good, and what we bring on the public, the personnel, is good and right, and it's correct. But I want to make sure that we don't do anything that may come to pass, because I'd rather do this and acknowledge where we went with what John's word was, so we can then have discussions, because I think that we should. And that's my point. So I would love to table this, even though we did have the meeting, I would still like to table this information for 2 weeks from now, at least.
So that's when we got a proposed letter that really doesn't say anything, it's an invitation.
Right.
It doesn't mean that anything can be accomplished.
I understand.
Okay, so what it does is it puts this behind the 8 ball, because we had our timeline of these advancing these items so that we could be prepared. And then if there's no fruit that comes from that discussion, then we're behind the 8 ball on this, and we probably would be up against the wall and getting it accomplished by the end of the year.
But Don said we could possibly, in his research, we could change the date of December 31st if we go to CEQA and ask to have an extension.
I don't think it would hurt developing the total for Sanilac Fire Department. It's going to hurt if we want to prepare and hire people.
I don't think Forrest is willing to do that.
Well, we know that, because that was what his report said.
And his report said that it can't be done without Forrest approving that.
We don't know that. That's kind of hypothetical. That's kind of a hypothetical, because they might want to extend to help us out, because they do work with us for the township.
Well, it might not change, you just said that it wouldn't change the day before, so it wouldn't really hurt them.
Because they would still have coverage.
They're
still going to pull out, but they still could vote to extend the day. Because originally it was a deal. I'm not trying to put anybody, but I would like to table these.
Well, there's been a motion made, and there's been support and discussion. I'd like to close the discussion and ask for a vote. Those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed?
No.
Will we have a roll call first?
Mike Mannion?
No.
Sue Bailey?
No.
John Davis?
Yes.
Ray Mack?
Yes.
Jim Southern?
Yes.
And Don
It doesn't exclude the possibility of any further discussions or any further developments. It just keeps this process moving in case we come to that realization.
I understand.
Well, then if we get to the next, moving on, see how it's said in October, the second phase of it would be extending the contract out.
So before you extend the contract, you have to put the advertising notification out, accept the applications, to get through those, to get to the point where.
Yeah, that's all the next step. That's what I mean. Once you put out the application, you're gonna get a response, and you have a contract, and you hire somebody, regardless, we're not there yet, but we're moving in that direction. And you get to that.
That's where we're at right now. Like, this doesn't, we're not doing nothing right now. We're putting this in place?
This is the next step to go into that.
We're past that.
Yeah. You're already voting yes,
Larry?
so there it is.
Continue with the personnel.
Okay, the next item was to approve village board Sanilac Fire Chief employment agreement as recommended by Public Safety and Personnel. That's an agenda addition, page 2 through 5. Motion.
That's motion number 3 we're talking? Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Who's making the motion?
Ray Mack, support. Ray, Jim Southern? Discussion?
I'm sorry, John, made it motion.
Ray Mack, support by Jim Southern. Hearing no discussion, all in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed?
No.
No.
We have roll call, clerk?
Mike Bailey,
No.
Sue Bailey,
No.
John Davis,
Yes.
Ray Mack,
Yes.
Jim Southern,
Yes.
and Dr. Matt.
Motion carried.
Next motion, we have recommended by the personnel committee is the village board Sanilac assistant fire chief employment agreement. Is recommended by Public Safety and Personnel, both on pages 6 through 9 of your agenda addition package.
I'll make that motion.
Ray Mack, support. I'll support that.
What number is this now on their list?
Number 4.
Discussion? Hearing none, I'd like a roll call vote, please.
Mike Bailey,
No.
Sue Bailey,
No.
John Davis,
Yes.
Ray Mack,
Yes.
Jim Southern.
Okay, Larry? Is that it for the personnel?
Yes, it is.
Okay, we'll get back to. So we have a village report, Sanilac Fire Department job description. See that? Okay, that's what we jumped ahead there. Okay. So then we have, correct, under the harbor?
Yes.
Harbor master report. Good evening.
These numbers reflect August 25th through September 12th. We sold 7,660 gallons of diesel, 3,183 gallons of R90. We had 201 transient orders, 78 bags of ice, 31 boats. We awarded the sidewalk project to wood contracting and it's set to begin. And the season is really close now.
Questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Andy.
Harbor Oversight Committee, August 28th meeting, the sidewalk project status, has changed since this meeting took place, the contract has been awarded. The abandoned boat is still unresolved. not able to find anybody interested. Discussion around establishing a partial season rate for the late season. That would have to come before council. It comes out of that discussion. The antenna, VHF antennas, need wiring check. A little bit of static in and out. So that's probably the fall project. Our report engineers have obviously completed their dredging. It's required to receive. Pretty much it on the harbor oversight. Any questions? Finance
Finance committee met on September 12th. There was a number of action items that the committee recommended. First one was the cost of additional paving work to be provided by asphalt to amend the overall budget to $207,448 to fund the project as recommended by finance.
I'll make that motion. Southern, support. I'll support. Discussion. Hearing none, those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.
The next item that the finance committee reviewed was providing electrical service to the Lighthouse Park, which was recently acquired by the village. There were two pieces of that. Detroit Edison piece for $1,450 and Krause Electric for $3,265.
That was coming out of Williams stuff, correct? Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Baylor, support. Discussion. Hearing none, those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.
Next item that was reviewed by the committee was the fee schedule, and fee schedule is just under item number 8. And recommend the motion to adopt that revised fee schedule.
Make that motion.
Okay, Mac? Support?
I'll support that.
Bruce Southern? Discussion?
Those are the additions, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, do you know what page number that is?
The actual, I gave you a separate sheet, and here's what I changed it to.
Yeah.
Discussion? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.
The next item by the committee, reviewed by the committee, was to change the invested pool funds proposed by our treasurer, move the funds from Edward Jones to Huntington Bank. Finance committee recommended that action.
I'll make the motion.
Baelish? Support? I'll support. Discussion?
Didn't you just transfer funds to Edward Jones?
Yeah, there was regulatory issues and the qualifications to hold those funds. So they brought it to our attention and agreed to surrender the funds back to us to make us whole without any losses to the early withdrawal. That my recollection, is that correct, Ray?
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah. So they discovered it, they brought it to our attention and made us whole. We transferred the funds out to the qualified institution. Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.
The next item reviewed by finance was the Village of Port Sanilac Fire Department budget. It's recommended by the finance committee to recommended the council adopt that budget.
Make that motion.
Ray Mack. Support. I'll support that discussion. Motion's been made, supported, discussion, take a roll call vote, please.
Blake Bailey,
No.
Sue Bailey,
No.
John Davis,
Yes.
Ray Mack,
Yes.
Jim Southern,
Yes.
and Anthony Landy.
Motion carried.
The next item reviewed by finance was the corporal annual service agreement with cathodic protection on the water tower. Service maintenance cost was $989 and is recommended to be approved by finance.
Southern. I'll support. That's the standard agreement that we've entered into every year. It's in services. Right? Discussion? Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? None, motion carried.
Next item, handled by finance was the agreement for temporary certified water operator supervision, recommended by finance.
I'll support that.
Baelish. Support. I'll support that. Discussion. That's the services of John Monty, providing the services.
23, 24 of the John May.
Further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.
That's it.
Okay, thank you, Larry. That's it for that. On to Parks and Recreation. 25 of your package.
Actually, if you were gonna put it on,
Okay, that's right, you were moving that down, that's right. Yep, I got you, that's 13. The governance committee meetings minutes. So we had two secondary. So you met, what, last Thursday, and you had Ray Mack, Jim Southern, and Damien Felton attended, as well as yourself.
There were a couple action items that they recommended. Update the village ordinance chapter 34, means see officially resolved. Recommended by the Public Safety and Governance Committee.
Make that motion. Ray Mack, support. I'll support that.
I support.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry. Discussion.
So we're doing pages 11 or just 10? So that's this. That's this.
The agenda edition, pages 11 through 21.
Right, that's what I thought. So in the information here, it has the transition is police, fire, emergency, medical, and contracting services provided under contract to the village of Port Sanilac. So if we agree on this, that means that this is already established then that goes forward. Because it's now and the public safety chapter 34. So if we agree on this, then that puts us in a position now to hire it. Is that correct? Where do you see that?
That's what the motion is.
And that's on this, that's on, where is that now? On page 2 of the motion. I suggest we table that. Well, I can't make the motion to table it because it's a comment. And I suggest we table it until we know more what we're doing. I don't want to change the ordinance until we know for sure what we're doing. We can pass this anytime after we make our decision, isn't that correct?
It doesn't enable us to do these items that we're agreeing to do if we don't get it changed. See, if it doesn't dissolve, then it stays intact.
I know, but we've got till December 31st.
And we got until January 31st to see if it stays intact. And we got till January 31st of 2029
Yeah,
to
but
see if it stays intact.
if CETA stays intact, then this is obsolete, isn't that correct?
That would be correct. It says until it dissolves, is that correct? Yes. Now, I was looking at the governance meeting, so I read this, but I didn't have the discussion. So that,
Okay, well, I'm just saying, we don't need to do this now. We can table it until we have conversations and go over what Don's information is on the 4 choices here.
President Falcon wanted a triggering event. The triggering event.
I'm not talking about President Falcon. I'm talking about
He's not there to
Baelish
speak for himself. The point was when when the governance committee met, he wanted a trigger. We could have.
Well, and I'm not David Belton though. I'm Sue Baelish and I wasn't in the governance and I'm saying I don't want to activate this. Well, I needed to explain that. I already understand that if we activate this, then we're going to have to unactivate it.
Ray, we have a vote. We have a vote.
It doesn't matter.
let a roll call vote, please.
Frank Baelish?
No.
Sue Baelish?
No.
Aaron Davis?
Yes.
Larry Mack?
Yes.
Jim Summers? And Dr. Nash?
Motion carried. The next item, Larry?
The next item on the governance agenda was a review of the Sanilac Fire Department general rules of conduct, which recommend the public safety personnel and governance. Village council adopted.
Make that motion.
I'll support it.
Remack, support by Jim Southern. Discussion?
Is the governance, is this the spot for the governance and the agenda? Or is this?
The amendment.
When we amended the.
Right, but this isn't the regular schedule, is it, it's supposed to be the first?
No, governance appears whenever, it's not the
Okay.
first or second meeting.
Okay.
It's a meeting.
Because I'm in the set schedule, yeah, all right, I didn't know. Thank you.
Discussion? All those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.
Next item, review by governance was village of Forest Sanilac fire service contract for Forest Township. Reviewed by public safety, governance, and finance, and recommended council.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Support Ramack. Discussion?
Did we have a price already quoted in the form?
No. It's a blank document.
What did you have?
And the addition page 29 through 2.
the additions.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed?
Me.
Take a roll call vote, please.
Mike Bailish,
Yes.
Sue Bailish,
No.
John Davis,
Yes.
Ray Mack,
Yes.
Jim Sutter.
Yes.
The next item reviewed by
Motion carried.
The next item reviewed was public safety, governance, and finance was the fire service contract for Sanilac Township. And there's a move to recommend council.
Make that motion.
Ray Mack, support. Jim Southern. Discussion? Take a roll call vote, please. Oh, yes. Okay. I apologize. Oh, I didn't realize it.
Well, I had something on there. In that contract, did that mention money from the village?
Yes.
So that contract has it added in there.
That's correct.
But there's no dollar amount.
That's correct. Yeah. Any no further discussion, I'd like a roll call vote, please.
Mike Bailish,
No.
Sue Bailish,
No.
John Davis,
Yes.
Ray Mack,
Yes.
Jim Sutter.
Motion carried. Roll call. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Next item, reviewed by the committee was the village of Fort Sanilac Fire Department Standard Operating Guidelines, SOG, with the following change to VPSFB 23-001, section 2H1, to read operate, to obtain and maintain all state of Michigan firefighter and medical first responder licensure as required by law, as recommended by the Public Safety and Governance Committee.
I'll make that motion. Support. Ray Mack, support. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call
Mike Bailish,
Yes.
Sue Bailish,
No.
John Davis,
vote. Yes.
Ray Mack,
Yes.
Jim Sutter.
Yes.
Any adopted?
Motion carried. Thank you. Okay. Now we are on to Parks and Recreation. Parks and Recreation.
Changes that.
The entrance report is on page 25 of the original ordinance packet.
You want to read it in, and then I'll add to it when you're done.
is an email sent from Dan Benjamin, as clerk regarding the August report, March representation for September. The grant report has been submitted to community mental health. They will be distributing reimbursements by the end of the month. I will continue to support the village of Port Sanilac through my involvement with Port Sanilac Area Business Association, Port Sanilac Lions Club, Sanilac Coffee, and Sanilac County Historical Society. The events and program is viewed with the vitality of the community and local economy. Feel free to reach out, wishing you all the best.
I also got an email right before I walked out the door that Dan said that the community mental health grant is $2,500, and the business association paid for the blow-up, the bouncies, and that came to $775. And the problem with that was that the community and mental health grant said that they can't pay to the business association any funds at all. So if we rewrite this and if the village chooses to pay back the business association $775 for the blow-ups for what was it, advocates for children's, yeah. Anyways, for the children's blow-ups in the park there, then we could regain that money back for the grant possibly. It says since the cost of it came to $2,563, would it be possible to reimburse the Port Sanilac Business Association? The answer was no to that. But if we do evaluate that and we write them a check, then we could possibly reimburse the $775. That just came in tonight. So the deadline was in the beginning of the month for it, and we don't have another meeting. So, and I can't with finance either.
Community mental health, I'm bored with refilling out the paperwork.
Yes, that was their suggestion. I just got this one walking. Okay, it says, hi Dan, this grant is to the village so we can pay the business association directly. The business association would bill the village, and you could have to adjust your financial report to include that expense so that we could reimburse for the same. We can only reimburse up to $2,500, the approved grant amount. It's all right if you don't end up spending the full amount. We just reimburse whatever we did spend, if that's the case. And that was from community mental health. Well, we would reimburse the business association. And this is from Morris and Thomas.
Well, it's typically the bill coming from the vendor, it would come from the business association. And as long as they'll accept a bill from the business association, that should work fine. It's a pleasure of the council.
I would move that we authorize the village to get that grant resubmitted the spring of responsibility indicated in mental health direction, such that we can get the grant and reimburse the business association.
I'll support that. Any discussion? Hearing none, those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.
Okay, and then the Lighthouse Park picnic turned out nice, and I just, Beers Lane, we made the pizza, and then there was somebody, a donator, that paid for pizza on their own. So that was paid for. That did not come on the funds for Park and Rec. And then the October 31st Halloween trunk tree will be, what they're asking for, if you read what I wrote, was the route for the golf cart parade if they meet over at the fire hall, the village welcome center, all the golf carts, and what they would do, they would head towards the lake and then turn south, go through the parking lot, and then out the parking lot, they would head down Main Street, heading east again, and then turn south on Lake Street, go around the Lighthouse Park, and come up the alley there and back into the parking lot. That's the plan for the parade. If you would want to think that's okay. Plus, the Halloween time frame would end at 8 p.m. for trick-or-treaters, but theirs will start at 5:30, the golf cart. So if you agree to the route, that would be beautiful. If they can do that, I can give them information.
Do you have anything with the state? No.
Pardon?
I just got learned again.
No, that doesn't involve the street at all. Well, Main Street, but, but it doesn't, as far as 25 or anything like that. So if you're okay with that route, let them know that it's okay for that tab. And the trunk or treat will be back in the parking lot there also. That's where they'll be set up in the parking lot, which will be the same place where they end up, the golf cart. And then the business association had brought up the lighting. Nobody thinks, I don't think that they think there's going to be a tree put up, which I'm sure that's not going to happen before Christmas. But if there could be the trees in front of the welcome center, if we could decorate, they want to decorate that, and I'm going to help coordinate with that. If that's the case, the only thing is we've got to find out where the lights are coming from. But if we can get the approval from the village to decorate those, I think there's like 5 or 6 trees in front of the welcome center. And that they can pull that off, and I'll help them with that too. Well, yeah, and also somebody had an idea which would be really cute for the welcome center to decorate it like a gingerbread house. I actually that's a possibility. I don't know. I thought about actually going to the Four Corners and having maybe a donation for lights and stuff and stand in the Four Corners of the village and have donations for lighting or Christmas decorations for that. Those items. So anyways, but I have to request that. I'm not ready for that yet.
Looking for approval of the route for the parade.
Correct.
I'll make that motion that we approve the route as suggested here. Email.
I'll second
Motion Davis for White Baelish to approve the parade route. Discussion? Hearing none, those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. That's the only thing you wanted action on right now, correct?
Yeah, but just think about, I might, if I put a request in for the Four Corners for Park and Rec to get donations for those trees. And seeing if the business association will help me with that. So that's just an idea out there.
Okay.
I'll get back to you on
That's it for Parks and Recreation then?
that. Yes.
Okay, thank you. New business, bills, looking for a motion to approve village bills paid September 12, 2023, the amount of $13,072.95 on pages 27 to 28 Baelish. Support?
I'll support.
Southern. Discussion, question? Hearing none, those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. The Need a motion to approve harbor bills paid September 13th, 2023 in the amount of $1,367.93 on page 29.
Make that motion.
Ray Mack,
I'll second.
and Bailish, support. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I need a motion to approve village bills to be paid dated September 19th, 2023 in the amount of $22,142.90.
Make that motion.
Motion by Bruce Southern. I'll support that. Discussion?
Yeah, I'm on this for reimbursement, but the reason I did the shopping is I had nobody else to do. That's why it's for the parking lot, for the
Okay, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Need a motion to approve harbor bills to be paid dated September 20th, 2023 in the amount of $14,534.86.
I'll make the motion.
Bailish. Support.
Support.
Ray Mack. Discussion. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Minutes from looking for a motion to approve the council meeting minutes dated September 5th, 2023, as presented on pages 35 through 38.
Make that motion.
Motion by Mack,
Second.
support by Southern. Discussion, comments, questions, corrections? Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Business manager. Clerk.
We have a motion to approve the fourth quarter newsletter content.
I'll make that motion. Southern support. Discussion?
If that goes out, then that looks like we're already sending this out. So, it looks like that, it looks like that we're not even considering the 4 points that Don had made. If we send that letter out. And that's not in there. That's an option.
I think it means that I've been communicating with our public.
Well, I think it looks like that we're on our way to setting it up, and I think that's what's gonna happen.
Well, we are.
Well, that's what's happening, it's what I'm reading.
That's one of, that's where we are. Moving forward, creating that whole motion, we create for that another department. Some people have said yes to it, some maybe another way to do it better, but that process is still going forward, so it's not really.